Well, hi everybody, this is Dear Mama Sal, and welcome to our broadcast. On Sundays, we like to do our soul work Sundays. And for those of you who are new, let me just try and explain this to you, or those of you watching it on the replay. And what we do at the front end is we normally do some news, views, and updates, so we can give people time to get in if they want to. And so what you will see on the replay underneath here in the See More notes, it will say from 00 to such and such time, news, views, and updates, and then from another time onwards, the topic. The topic today is, because we're doing soul work, we're going to be talking about inner peace, and that's what we do on Sundays. And the format is that I will read a quote, and then we talk about what that means for us today, fully understanding that I could read the same quote next week, and you could have a totally different reaction to it. I'm seeing that I managed to drink off most of the lipstick, so hang on one second. Let's try and improve that slightly. Even that isn't very startling, is it? Okay, never mind. Definitely want a darker color than that. So what I wanted to do is just welcome anybody who might be ghosting, and ghosting as in you are listening to this, but you're not necessarily, hi Jody, you're not necessarily in the chat. I do try to take the chat down as soon as we finish the broadcast. Occasionally I'm a bit late in doing that, but most of the time I get it done within 5 minutes. So just know that if you come into the chat and you're new, I probably will keep asking you if it's okay for me to repeat that. I know enough about the regular viewers to know that they know if they tell me something, I'm going to repeat it because they're in the chat. So, but if you're new, I will do my best to make sure I double check with you that it's okay for me to repeat it. And so that doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk. Absolutely come in and ask any questions you want or get any input that you need. That's what we're here for. And I don't know about the rest of you, but it's been a strange week. And that's why I love to do these Soul Work Sundays. And so without wasting any more time, I want to just say that we want to give some thoughts and prayers to a number of people this week. First of all, for those of you who know Lizzie, she's been having a tough time out there in Ontario. And so we're sending lots of hugs to her. And she's doing great work on herself. And I'm really proud of her for that. She's she and I are in contact now on Messenger, and I'm keeping tabs on her because she just is such a great human being, and I'm certain you'll all wish her well. Erin continues to take one step at a time and deal with whatever is in front of her. And I think in that alone, she is the most incredible role model to us all. You know, she might not get good news, but what she does is she just copes with the news and then moves on from there, which really, if we could all do that, we would have so much peace. I wanted to give some thoughts and prayers for Lauren. She is waiting for a new wheelchair, and I thought maybe we could give some thoughts and prayers to help her achieve that. Jody and Lionel, wow, they've had a tough time of it. Lionel put his back out again, which means that that's difficult because he is Jody's caregiver, and he's in hospital as we speak, or at the hospital rather, as we speak. I believe, Jody, correct me where I'm wrong, and trying to get some help with that. But worse, above the pain, he also lost a cousin this week. And so, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to Jody and Lionel for that. And then I also wanted to put some thoughts and prayers in. Jody and Lionel desperately need a car that suits them for the winter time, so that they're not trying to do everything in the rain and snow. So I'm hoping that you will all give your thoughts and prayers. Jonas came in on the Friday broadcast, and he definitely needs our thoughts and prayers. So he's just having a tough time being a teenager, and we all remember that, I'm sure. And if any of you got any thoughts and prayers left at the end of all of that, perhaps you could give some for me, because I need some as I continue to do my final downsizing, and then the scary part of listing my house and praying that it will sell in a hurry, which at this time of the year might not be done. But I'm going at the speed that that I feel is right. I don't want to end up in being sick or doing anything stupid to myself. So I'm just continuing to do the best I can, and I've done really well this week. I'm very proud of myself. As I said on Friday, any minute now I'm going to be able to do a walkthrough of my house. You've all wanted to see that, but I'm going to be able to do it soon because there's nothing left in it. All right, and we got some birthdays coming up this week. We've got Jamie's. For those of you who know Jamie down in California, hers on the 24th. We've got Kerry's on the Halloween on 31st, and then Nana's coming up on the 2nd. So, yeah, hi, Linda. Yes, be positive. Your future buyers are just waiting for me to list. I know. Thank you so much. That's what Yvonne says as well. And by the way, Yvonne very kindly gave me some time. We have to go and vote. We always go vote together because it's less stressful when you go with somebody to vote. By the way, what an unbelievably efficient voting process. I cannot believe it. We left my house, drove 7 minutes to where the voting place was. We lined up, identified ourselves, did all that stuff, voted. And as I walked out of the door of the voting place, we had spent a total of 15 minutes since we left home. Can you believe that? So vote. I mean, I just went, wow, that was efficient. By the way, they had an art show there, and I'm certain you all want to know, did they have any of my type of art? Not one piece. But they did tell me there was a 3-year waiting list to become part of that group. And so I'm sort of, part of me is going, do I want to join an artist group? Maybe. I'll give that some thought. News updates. Linda has told us, congratulations to Linda, that she's lost a lot of weight. And I'd give it to you in pounds, 14 pounds to a stone, 14 times 5, let's call it 15. So that's about 60 pounds. Is that possible, Linda? I'd have to do the math on that. Anyway, and Kerry's lost weight as well. So congratulations to them both. And congratulations to our Charlotte, for those of you who know Charlotte. She just finished yet another race, and she got her newest personal best. So isn't that wonderful for her? She keeps running these marathon things, or half marathons, or 5Ks, or whatever it is that she's up to. I'm never quite sure. I think she's doing 5Ks, but she's got her new personal best. So well done. I am really very impressed with that. Anybody need any help? Oh, yes, Linda, that's true, Linda. Yes, Linda's big thing about losing this amount of weight is she can actually walk into a store, a regular store, right, Linda? Not a fat people store, a regular store, and buy clothes now. Isn't that wonderful? And by the way, my big achievement of the week, other than all the, boxes I got downstairs, was I packed away my summer clothes. And as you can see, you're going to start seeing the oranges and the reds again. And I, pulled out my winter clothes because it's coming in fast. I know that. And the rains are coming in a couple of days, and I'm looking at my windows going, I need to clean those tomorrow before the rains come, because after that, I'm not going to be able to get out there to do it. Hi, Marie, how are you doing? So does anybody need any support on doing anything? That's what I wanted to know. I know that Kerry has done a really good job, and I want to give Kerry a round of applause on this one, because she actually managed, she is part of our, what we call the fitness group. Now, that doesn't mean that we all go out running or anything, but we like to keep our minds about the fact we're trying to get more fit, whether it's we want to eat better or we want to do more exercise, whether we want to keep tabs on our calorie intake or whatever it is, but whatever way in fitness that that people want to do it, we have this little group of people that do that. And so Kerry actually got her calories back in this week, which was great. I was very proud of her for that. I am this week, I am going to concentrate on finishing up, tidying up my studio, which is the second biggest job that I've got left. After that, I've got the craft room, which quite honestly shouldn't take more than a day or two. When I say a day or two, understand I don't go at it 8 hours a day. I try and do, a couple of really concentrated hours every day. So that's, I need I need support on that one. So, and I just want to know if anybody else needs any support on anything. I think, Marie, was there something you were trying to get done? I can't remember. Something tells me there's something that you were trying to get done, and I have forgotten to mention it. I don't know what it is, but let me know if there is something. For those of you who are new, if you look down here somewhere, there's a bell. And what that bell is for is that if you click on it, whenever we're about to do a live broadcast, it will let you know. So in case you don't know that, just click the bell. By the way, if you enjoy the broadcast, give it a thumbs up. That really helps me. And yeah, Marie's going to the gym. Yes, well done. And you're keeping track of calories. Marie, did we put you onto the fitness group? I can't remember. I think we did, right? Okay, so here's the thing, Marie. Don't concentrate on the bad days. Concentrate on the good ones. All right, that's what we've learned to do. We all have bad days, where we go out, as you say, to a wedding, or we, like I went and had poutine this week, So just don't worry about those days. We all clock those in. And it's just like, but we say, sorry about that, I went to a wedding, or, in my case, I treated myself to poutine for the first time in 2 months. So, it's okay. And quite honestly, that's keeping accountable. That's really what we're trying to do with that group, is to keep accountable. And the more of us that keep accountable, the more it encourages others to do the same. So for those of you who are not following us on Facebook or Twitter, another good idea, and just under DearMamaSal, the reason for that is we sort of use that as a notice board for people. Hi, Jonas. I put out some thoughts and prayers for you, so I'm delighted to see you're here. Well done. Jonas, I thought I'd let you know, I'm sure that it probably won't make you feel a whole lot better, but I thought you might like to know you're not the only one struggling this week. I've got another viewer who's really struggling as well. And so just know, I really do think that a lot of this has to do with the change of the seasons and everything. So I'm really glad that you're here. And as Jody says, big hugs from us all. And we're always delighted to see you here. You have brought us great joy and great wisdom with your comments in the broadcast. So if you're ghosting and you have a topic that you'd like us to talk about at any time, just write to me. I'm sure Jody will put it up for you, but just write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com. And I'll add it to the list of topics that people have asked me to talk about. And it's not that we have the definitive answer on anything. It's just we talk about it and we get people's input on it and we see how people are doing with that particular topic. So feel free to let me have that. All right, so we're going to do a time check here at 14:15. Actually, Jonas, you will be surprised how much I have enjoyed your input. It's really important to understand that everybody contributes. Everybody who comes in, whether they're happy or sad or hurting or whatever, it all is about life. And that's what we talk about. We are not a group of people that pretends life is perfect. We're a group of people that know life has its ups and downs. And the whole point of doing this was that we would be there for one another at those times. And I would want to tell you something. I don't know if you know, Jonas, but do you know that it is as stressful on the body to be happy as it is to be sad? Did any of you know that? I don't know if any of you know that, but when you study stress, a wedding can be as stressful as a funeral. It's really weird. Getting into a new relationship can be as stressful as getting out of one. So all these things are equally difficult on us. So I just want you to, and I wanted Jonas to know that he wasn't alone, that there are a lot of people. And to pretend to be happy when you are right, Jonas, good for you. Jonas is saying to pretend to be happy when you're not, right, could only be idiocy. And you need to give yourself permission to have feelings. I want to tell you, it will save you so much if you allow yourself to cry when you need to, if you allow yourself to be angry, but don't punish other people. We have a group of people where that I'm part of. The sentence goes something like this: I need to vent. It starts like that. And then you wait for somebody to say, okay, I'm here, go for it. And it doesn't mean I need fixing. I don't need you to fix anything. It means I need to get angry about something, and I want to do it in a place where it's not going to hurt anybody. And we have this little group, right? Or we have a number of little groups, but it's really important. So you can go this. What happened to yesterday when we were going to vote? If coming away from there, Yvonne was trying to get out of a parking space, and this guy who was farther down the parking line came out. And instead of waiting for Yvonne to get out, she was sort of 3/4 out, he sort of took a deep breath and snuck in behind her, which was really stressful for everybody. And I called him a word. And then I said, now, was that a fact or an emotion? And I thought about it, and I said, I think that was factual. If any of you know what I mean. Because he was an idiot, Jonas. And more than just a regular idiot. So anyway, we're going to take another time check here, Jody, at 18 minutes. All right, so today we're going to be doing some soul work, and as usual, and I love soul work Sundays. They always help me. And that's very selfish, isn't it? But I also have heard from other people that they really enjoy it as well. So the first quote I have is from Bernie Siegel. And Bernie said, love and peace of mind do protect us. They allow us to overcome the problems that life hands us. They teach us to survive, to live now, to have courage and to confront each day. Hi, Nyasha, good to see you. That's Nyasha from Trinidad and Tobago. I hope that's right. I'm working on it. Did I get it right? Yeah, I think well, it's Jody saying yes, but I hope I got it right. All right, so yeah, sure, I'll even repeat it slowly. Love and peace of mind do protect us. They allow us to overcome the problems that life hands us. They teach us to survive, to live now, and to have courage to confront each day. Jonas, do you want me to give an example of that? Let me know if you'd like an example of that. Okay. Jonas, I was married and I ended up divorced. And it wasn't pleasant, I must tell you. And I had a lot of anger and resentment about my ex-husband. And then one day I said to myself, that this is really quite sad and it's my stuff because I loved him enough to marry him. Does that make sense? And from that day onwards, I actually changed my hate thoughts, and they were, I don't mind telling you, to love thoughts. And I said, if I truly love this man, which I did, then I would want nothing more for him than for him to be happy, even if it is without me. Does that make sense? And so in that moment, I gave love instead of hate, and I found peace of mind because I stopped spending my days obsessing about him and all that he was up to. I just let him go with love. And so it allowed me to overcome all that stuff that I was hanging on to and just move on. What if you have love for others, but it's never, ever reciprocal? Wait a while. And I say wait a while, journalists, because it just feels like that at the moment, and I understand that. And I have been there, and I totally know that feeling. And I'm pretty sure that almost everybody in the room would tell you there's been a time in their life where they felt the same. The interesting thing is, when you learn to love yourself, you will attract a different sort of person around you. Does that make any sense? So the goal now is to work on yourself and to learn to be okay being alone if necessary, and to be happy alone if necessary. Not that you need somebody else all the time to make you happy or to complete you. It's to realize you are a complete person and a great one. And this is like, not everybody deserves your love. Yeah, and Linda, we all need lessons on how to love ourselves. Yes, I'm quite sure, Jonas, that they do take you and your care for granted, but you also give it without worrying about getting equal amount back, all right? Yeah, so good. You know something? My dear adopted son, he adopted me. My dear adopted son, Dougie, does that every now and then. He just stops writing to people to see who finds out why he hasn't written. You know what I mean? And it's really funny because he does it. And you sort of go, why haven't I heard from Dougie? And so I'll go, are you okay, honey? Because I haven't heard from you. And he goes, trust you to be the first. You know what I mean? So he does it every now and then. It's a good thing to do. You'll find out who cares. Now, if nobody replies, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, Jonas. It means you've got the wrong friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not about you. It's about the type of friends that you've been attracting. So we're going to help you with that. And would you like me to do some broadcasts on how we can love ourselves better? Yeah, you've thrown yourself into self-exile. Okay. That's, in the hope that you're not hurting yourself, but, you'll work out in the long term, you actually do end up hurting yourself. But I'm going to let you have that. You're just here. I'm so happy. All right, so here's the thing. You will never find peace of mind until you listen to your heart. All right? Now, that's not your negative heart, because your heart speaks well of you. All right, so just think about that. And it's like, wait a minute, I've got a really great quote. Hang on one second. I'm just going to find it. It's normally when I do this that I end up making a major boo-boo. No, I'm going to talk well of myself. Hold on one second. There is a great quote. Hang on. All right, are you ready for this, Jonas? You may want to write this one down. And for some of you may also want to write it down. And so let me know if you want me to repeat it. Don't let anyone rent space in your head unless they are a good tenant. Don't let anyone rent space in your head unless they are a good tenant. And that includes your negative self, your self-hating self. You know, your job is to keep your inner thoughts positive. Linda has done a great job on that. Yes, Nyasha, exactly. Nyasha's telling us, well, I'm still facing health challenges, but at the point that I'm not depressed anymore. Exactly. All right. It's like, if this is as good as it gets, how do I make myself happier? All right. So we all have these ups and downs. I assure you, Jonas, you would not want the health challenges that Jodi's dealing with, but she manages not only to be helpful to herself and to those around her, but look at her. She's here every broadcast, helping us by being our admin. Can I explain the quote? Is that the one I've just read that you want me to explain? It's a pleasure, Linda. Linda's saying, thank you, Sal, I needed that. I knew there was a reason for tuning in. Yeah, isn't it amazing how that happens? All right, so is it the quote you want me to explain or something else, Nyasha? If it's just the quote, say yes, and then I will know. And I've just got to wait because I need to change screens to go back to the other quotes. So I just love that one. I found that one and I thought, boy, okay. So what it's saying is don't rent space in your head, all right? Don't give room in your head to negative thoughts. So work really hard. Can you actually, maybe you can help us. Can you give us one or maybe two negative thoughts that run through your head? You know, like, oh, well, I can't see properly, or I do this, but da, 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 da. You know, what sort of negative thoughts do you have? And, you know, I'm asking for one so that I can show you how to turn that into a good tenant instead of a bad one. Because if you spend your life saying, well, I do that, but I can't because, you know, I've got bad eyesight, you know, that's a negative tenant. Yeah, Linda's saying she does find life easier now that she's banished most of her negative thoughts. Yes, it does definitely make life easier. Okay, so I'm going to wait and just carry on. Oh, I don't know. Yes, isn't it amazing? How many times you say, I don't know? How do you feel? I don't know. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. So here's what I do with that one. Do any of you relate to what Nyasha's saying? For example, she's saying, I don't know if I'll be working in the future. No. Okay, so Jonas is, you know, I'm worthless and there's nothing to prove otherwise. Okay, so here's what I'm saying to you is, do you remember that broadcast we did about cognitive work, cognitive behavior? Hi, Angela. So what it's saying is if you keep negative thoughts in your mind, you're going to have negative emotions, and then you're going to have negative behaviors. So the trick is to really work hard at changing the negative. And if you can't change it, you know, talk to people who can help you change it. So here's the thing, Nyasha. You're saying that you don't know whether you'll be working or not in the future, right? Because of your eyesight issues. So you say to yourself, okay, that's okay. That is true. I don't know whether I'll be working or not. But what would I like to do in the meantime? Do you understand how that turns it from a negative into a positive? You know, what would I like to be doing in the meantime? Because at the moment, it is possible that you can still work. You know, I know you've got to have a medical procedure done. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to work after that. Well, you know, what if it's the opposite? What if you end up being twice as able to work once that is done, which I think might be the, you know, once you get everything worked out and understand how it all works, I think you're going to be much more able to work than you were. So Jonas, saying that you're worthless, that is your judgment of yourself, and you're saying there is no evidence to prove otherwise. Well, I understand that's how it feels at the moment, and I can tell you there were times when I was your age that I felt the same way. But the truth is that you have yet to find the true joy of being who you are. All right? And I say that because I was talking to somebody yesterday about you, Jonas, and what I said was, I hope Jonas realizes that by the time he's 25, all this will look totally different. And, you know, it's really weird because I want to tell you something. I know so many people that really had a problem in their teens and late teens. And then, you know, by the time they were 25, they had found a really good person in their life, or they'd really, you know, got tied into a great hobby and they were loving it, and they had a great new group of friends. You know, there's this transition from, it gets very, when did you leave school? Because there's a great transition between leaving school and moving on with life. All right. And that's very scary stuff. And it sort of affects everything, I think. Right, in June. All right. So give yourself a good year to get used to not being at school anymore, because it's a major change, major stress. And you're going to, do you have a job, Jonas? I think you do, don't you? Now, I'm not saying any of this is easy, Jonas. Hanging in there. You quit your job. Okay. So the reality is that if you want to get better, I mean, I'm very serious. If you want to find out how valuable you are, let me know, because I will tell you what would be a really good idea for you. Somebody gave me a bit of advice, Jonas, when I was having a lot of this sort of trouble. And what they said to me was, and I know you will probably fight this inside because I did until I got it worked out. They said, if you want to change your life to the better, give to others that you wish you could have for yourself. And what he meant was, if you're looking for love, go give it to maybe people who are in a hospice, or go give it, you know, offer to be somebody who helps people in when they're going to hospital. You know, offer, be a volunteer somewhere and learn to think about things other than yourself. And that is a very important thing. The Rotary, for example, always says that Rotary is service above self. You know, you think about others before you think about yourself, because in giving to others, you give wonderful gifts to yourself. So, yeah, you lost faith. You know something, Jonas? So many of us relate to that, right? We've been there. I assure you, I got betrayed one time too many in my life, and there was 5 years in my life where you would not have wanted to meet me because I was really an unhappy person. And, but you know something, Jonas? I never stopped hoping for a change, right? I kept saying, I just got to wait at this bus stop. A happier bus is coming along. I just haven't seen it yet, but I know there's a happier bus coming along. And thank goodness I did, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have met any of you. And I wouldn't have had the chance to help as many people as I have here. But, you know, could I say, oh, well, you know, I'm so unfortunate, nobody loves me? I could say that. Wouldn't be true. So here's a great quote, Jonas, from the Dalai Lama, if you know who he is. And he said, "Do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace." Angela, I saw your comment. I just haven't got there yet. You know, do not destroy your inner peace by other people's behavior. Somebody hurts you, that's their stuff. And you allowed it to hurt. That's your stuff. But the truth is, what they did doesn't necessarily need to be true. And so, really, it's a case of one step at a time. Just every day, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. I was thinking, Jody, it must have taken some mental work today, knowing that Lionel is at the hospital, having them look at his back, and you need him to be your caregiver. I am pretty certain you've had to work very hard to keep your two marbles going in the right direction, and not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. I'm certain part of you was a little panicked. All right, so hi there now. Can I make a suggestion to you, Jonas? Don't waste your energy hating anybody. All right? Hate is such a terrible word. Don't hate anybody. You don't have to give them space in your head, but don't hate them. All right? You wish nothing but the worst for them. I would wish nothing but the best for them, and your life will be better. Yeah, and Linda's saying, learning from me to accept others' views and mine can be different. Yes, I agree to disagree, right? That's, it's such a difficult one where I actually have a really good friend of mine, and there's one topic on which we totally disagree, and we always will, because neither of us will come off our positions. And we will fight and fight and fight it out, and then I'll go, tell you what, let's agree to disagree on that one and move on, because it's just a waste of time. She's not going to change her thinking at this time, and I'm not either. So what's the point of discussing it? Yeah, Jody's saying, yes, the marbles are stressed, but I'm doing okay. Thank you. Being here is so helpful. Well, you being here is so helpful to us too, Jody. And we thank you. And quite honestly, I'm delighted you are here, because at least for little moments of time, hopefully your mind is not running around wondering, the worst. So, something? There are people in life, oh gosh, Jonas, I wish I could tell you how many people I know that feel they're entitled, and, and they get away with stuff that, we wouldn't. And, but I totally waste my energy if I concentrate on them. All right? So I don't. I concentrate on the people that, I concentrate on finding new friends that are not like that. And I know I'm not going to change them. Right? Being angry at them isn't going to change them. So, I'm just going to let them find out the hard way, which isn't very nice, but, they will find out, because there's such a thing as karma. Yeah, but I understand the feeling. I totally understand the feeling. And I want to tell you, there was a 10-year period in my life, Jonas, where so many people betrayed me. It was amazing. It was just like, who else is going to betray me? And guess what? Another one would. And it was just like, really? And who else? And boom, another one would. And I learned to stop saying that. Well, Jonas, that is your belief. And, I understand why that makes you so angry. But their time will come. All right, there will be consequences, and they've got more chances of having consequences now than they ever did. You're mourning a culture you once had faith in. Yay! Does anybody agree with Jonas that, you know something, I watch the news now, Jonas, and I'm going, what happened to the time when you could have people debate a subject, not that they're screaming over one another and da 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 da. And I keep going, Sal, those days are gone, I think. So just learn to turn it off. So, hi, Beth. Beth said she was busy chatting on the fitness group and forgot we were doing a broadcast. I love Linda's comment. She says, karma is a bee, you know what. And if you're lucky, she'll let you watch. So now Linda says, but now, on a serious note, I now allow anger when I want. You're allowed to get angry, but don't hold the grudge, right? That's the difference. It's like, that really upsets me. It really upsets me that people scream on the talk shows now. But, it's the way. And I keep going, why don't they do this one person at a time thing? It just takes, a moderator. And I get cross with people like Anderson Cooper. He knows better. But, that is the old school. The new school says, let's all be rude to one another. I miss that too, Jonas. I want to tell you, I miss that culture too. I miss, the fact that, we've changed a lot of things, but it doesn't mean it's going to go back. How does one turn off their emotions? Boy, you guys really want me to do a lot of work on a Sunday, don't you? but let's put that down for a topic that we try and find some words around for you. How about that, Nyasha? So let's concentrate today on the peace, all right? I love this one. This is a quote from, how do you stop being hurt by others? You stop giving them space in your head. That's exactly what that original quote was about. It was, you stop giving them space in your head. When you start thinking about how badly they treated you, you go, this is a waste of my time. Doesn't change anything. Let me move on with my life and learn to be happy. Beth, have to is a control word, all right? Try, if you can, think about, you may choose to seek understanding before jumping into anger. All right, nobody has to do anything, all right? They are adults. Yes, exactly. Linda understands that now. You can't turn off anybody else's emotions. You are only responsible for your own. So your job is to learn to set that boundary and going, I am not going to think about this negativity anymore. Let me go find something positive to do. Yes, Beth, we're all working on those words. All right, so here's Wayne Dyer's incredible quote. Listen up, everybody. Take a deep breath because it's good. Peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. I'll read it again. From Wayne Dyer, he said, peace is the result of training your mind to process life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. So do you understand? We have to learn to set the boundary. Remember what I said about, who are you giving space to in your mind? Life is not easy, right? Yeah, that's right, Linda. And that's okay. Life has its ups and downs. And, our job is to be able to learn to go with them. It's like, just because your life isn't perfect doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're alive. And, it's like, we all, I love that quote too, Jody. So it's to me, it says it all, right? Peace is the result. Peace. If you're looking for inner peace, it's the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is. Saying, well, we need to go back to how it was yesterday. Yeah, I love Wayne Dyer as well. Well, we can't go back to how it was yesterday. It's not going to happen. Yeah, yesterday's gone. This is the present. Tomorrow's going to be the future. So we have to learn to process life as it is rather than how we think it should be or should go back to or whatever. And this one is a quote which also talks to this sort of stuff. It says, you find peace not by rearranging the circumstances of your life, but realizing who you are at the deepest level. You see, peace isn't out there. Peace is within us. We get peace when we realize Disneyland is Disneyland. It's not life. We realize that love stories, on the movies are love stories on the movies. They're not our life. We realize that we'll have to kiss a lot of frogs before we find a princess or a prince. That these things take time, and they will come to you in your time. And, I found out that for all the terrible things that had happened to me, that I found great happiness in just being who I am and learning who I am and accepting me for who I am and doing what gives me pleasure. Yes, Nyasha. Wow, she says, I really need to learn some skills. Can the process of peace be learned to somebody who doesn't have it? Absolutely. That's what we do here 3 times a week. Nyasha, that's exactly why we're here, is to help one another find some peace. And understanding that you don't have it is the first part of the lesson. So welcome to our world. And take a deep breath and listen to this one. And this is from John F. Kennedy. Peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, quietly building new structures. Wow. Beth is saying that she had some devastating news delivered to her before work this morning. Wow, we're sorry to hear that, Beth. But oddly, she says, I knew I had to clock in to work soon. So she focused on that instead of, and not disclosing the news. All right. Now that takes incredible mental ability. Most people would probably just go into work crying and wait for sympathy and everything else. But Beth said, this is not the time or the place to deal with this. I am about to go to work. That's very professional, Beth. That is incredibly, to be able to compartmentalize your life like that is very, very talented. And I'm certain there are an awful lot of people who would love that ability. But that's what it is, right? That you can actually say, this is a terrible thing that happened, but I'm not going to allow myself to think about it until later. Yeah, Beth says, normally I would have freaked, but I'm in control now. Wow. We're so proud of you. It's not easy, but it's doable. And I'm saying this because if there is hope, if you can see that Beth learned how to do it. Okay, now listen to this one. This is by Linda Evans. And for those of you who are older, you will remember she was in Dynasty or Dynasty, depending on how you say it, the original one. And she said, if there's no inner peace, people can't give it to you. The husband can't give it to you. Your children can't give it to you. You have to give it to yourself. And the way in which we give ourselves inner peace is to understand that we want the world to change. We want to control the world. And that you cannot find inner peace that way. You have to learn to control yourself. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have impact on the world. It just means to get inner peace, we have to, just control what we're thinking, not what everybody else is thinking. We cannot control everybody else. We can only control ourselves. If ever you want an experiment on what positive thinking does, or then go out one day and smile at everybody and see how many people smile back and how you feel. And then the next day, go out and scowl at everybody, and do this one to everybody and see how many people mirror that to you. Yeah, Linda says, I wanted to give inner peace to myself once I decided that's what it was. It was so much easier. Yeah, it really is. When you can accept that you're the only one that can make you happy, you're the only one that can forgive yourself, you're the only one that says, hey, it's time to move on from this and do something. I always said, if you want to get a healthier attitude, go do something. When I say go do something, go help somebody else or do something like that, rather than sit and think. If you just sit and think, you will fester. And that is not healthy. And that is, that's not going to bring you inner peace. But if you go out, maybe if you attend church, go to a hospital, see people who are worse off than you are, go and play with kids I'm thinking, well, I don't, sorry, Jonas, I'm not going to agree with that, because I know there are people in this room that love you, and so therefore, I know you're not the exception. You just feel like that. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. It's not a fact. It's just because you've had a tough week. So it's not a fact that you're not lovable, because there are a lot of people in this room that love you. Yeah. Now this one, Haile Selassie, for those of you who don't know, he was once the emperor of Ethiopia. He said, peace is a day-to-day problem, the product of a multitude of events and judgments. Peace is not an is, but it is a becoming. All right? We are learning to become peaceful. I'm thinking, Jonas, like I would start studying something like Zen, or find if I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but start learning about inner peace. And Eleanor Roosevelt said, it isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it. Yes, Jonas, that's what, spend your time reading more about Buddhism. It will help you find inner peace again. Great. I don't know why that came to me, but I'm suddenly thinking, yeah, that's awesome. Make it, get a ritual where you're going to read so many pages every day, or you're going to work. I would actually go to a temple and start finding out more, actually give yourself that routine. If you're not working, go and learn. And, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, nobody can bring you peace but yourself. We have to learn to bring ourselves peace. We may need to learn how to do it, but we have to do the work, right? It's not it's not something that somebody else can give us. It's something we work on. And Cicero said, and I love this, listen to this one. See if you can get your mind around this one. It says, peace is liberty in tranquility. Peace is liberty, freedom, in tranquility. We are free to choose peace, or we can choose hell. Does that resonate at all? It is a choice we make. If we think negative thoughts about people, we will not find peace. If we go, I choose not to think negative thoughts about these things anymore, I choose to be at peace, then you will find peace. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, peace is its own reward. You will know. Yeah, Linda's saying once she decides to be at peace, it's liberating. Yeah. It's amazing when you can cut out the that's going on around you and just go, excuse me, this is my space. I just don't want all this stuff inside my head. I was really happy yesterday that I took Yvonne with me. And it was really amazing because I noticed that things were being said and I was getting, I was getting a little stressed, and I could just hear Yvonne say, yeah, that's good, we can do that. And it was just like, end of story. Don't think about it anymore. Don't think about what could happen. Just keep saying yes. And it was amazing. I just looked at her and I smiled, and she going, yep, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. We can do that. And it was really cute. So yes, you once told a wise old man that you were seeking inner tranquility, and he told you to look into Buddhism. That was a very wise man. Isn't that funny that I suddenly talked about that? I don't believe in coincidences, so he was the mall Santa Claus. That's so cute. Isn't that beautiful? A very wise old man, exactly. So the life of inner peace, being harmonious and without stress, is the easiest type of existence. Not at the moment, Jonas. I understand that. But yeah, as Linda says, it's difficult at times to stop things invading her peace. But Linda will tell you, and I will as well, in rare moments, that the life of inner peace, being harmonious and without stress, in other words, not letting other people's stuff in, is the easiest type of existence. And Norman Vincent Peale said that. Once you've got it, but you need to practice it every day. And, for all of you who know that I've been downsizing, this really resonates with me because it says, never be in a hurry. Do everything quietly and in a calm spirit. Do not lose your inner peace for anything whatsoever. Even if your whole world seems upset. And, to me, that's what I keep reminding myself. I need to do this at my own pace, not at everybody else's. Jonas, I have always said that this is not a broadcast about numbers. This is a broadcast because I never know who's watching that you don't know about. I never know who will watch it. You know what I mean? And I assure you, I get enough emails and reminders from people that even if there are only one or two people watching it at any given time, it doesn't matter to me. Do you understand? I don't judge myself by numbers. Why would I do that? I literally am so amazed when people write and thank me. And to me, that is, if I can help one person, it's worth the time. You know something, Linda? I totally agree with you. I'm not always polite either. And, you know, to me, there are times when I embarrass myself and I go, I can't believe I just did that. And I have to forgive myself. Well, I don't have to, but I choose to. I choose to forgive myself and just go, okay, keep working on that one. You know, there are times when my big mouth opens when it should be closed, and I totally understand that. And boy, that does not lead to peace of mind for me. Marvin Gaye said, if you cannot find peace within yourself, you will never find it elsewhere. In other words, you know, if you want to find peace, start with yourself. Don't expect others to bring it. Well, you know something, Jonas? To me, it's really important. I am amazed how many times I have had to repeat that to people, Jonas, that I really came here to hopefully make a difference one person at a time. And I knew I couldn't change the world, but maybe I could help one person. And if I can help more than one person, I am delighted. And if we can together, and I know that we do, because we have so many people who, you know, who've said that. So, you know, to me, it's about, I don't worry about what everybody else is doing. I worry about what I do and how I do it. And I do it because I know it needs to be done. So there's a lot of peace in that. Right? I don't have to compare myself. I don't have to, you know, keep track of stuff. I just go, okay, it's my time now. I'm going to try and help some people. And for those of you who read the book or saw the movie Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert said, we don't realize that somewhere within us all, there does exist a supreme self who is eternally at peace. Right? Somewhere within ourselves, it is there. We just have to bring it out of us. Well, Linda, thank you. Maybe I didn't change the world. You know, I look at it, Linda, and, you know, when you think about the reality that over close to 1,200,000 people have logged into DearMamaSal, you know, I've got a feeling we've helped a couple that we don't know about. And so to me, it's never about the numbers. When I say that, you know, just think about that. Some people just, you know, turned off immediately. Some people stayed and listened. Some people stayed and helped others. You know, to me, it's like, I thank you for coming back and helping others, Linda, by your input and your wisdom. You know, it's really important that we just keep doing the best we can to help those that we can. I know that Manon in France wouldn't be driving today if we hadn't been there and supported her to do that. She probably would have scared herself stupid and never finished it. So to me, it's like we have so many good stories to tell, and we will continue. I have no doubt in my mind that as long as we continue to do the work, we will continue. Thank you, Jody. Jody's saying, Sal, change my world, and Lionel's too. Yes, Leslie is a wonderful example. So is Angela. So, you know, there's so many people. I don't know if you know, and I know Angela won't mind me repeating this, but because she did it publicly, but, you know, Angela watched us originally for 3 months in tears, in absolute tears, never, ever joined the broadcast for 3 months. And I was lucky enough to meet her, and boy, I'm so glad that I did, because she had such an impact on my life at that time. And it was just like, wow, you just don't know. Wow, that is so true, Jonas. Wow. How many of you agree with Jonas on this one? Hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night. Wow, that is so true. Or, Jonas, I remember when I first came to Vancouver, people said to me, if ever you want to know where north is, look for the mountains. And I thought, like, okay, fine. And, the first day I got lost, I'm turning around in a big circle and I can't see any mountains anywhere because it is positively pissing with rain. And I'm going, what's the point of telling me to look for the mountains when you can't see them? Right? And I felt totally lost in that moment, Jonas. And then I realized I didn't know where they were, but maybe other people did. And I literally stopped somebody and I said, I know this is going to sound really strange, but can you tell me where the mountains are? And they went, yeah, they're over there. I said, thank you so much. So that's north. So sometimes, Jonas, we need to ask where the mountains are. And sometimes somebody will be able to point us that direction. Yeah, if we only believe in the sun when it's out and shiny. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. That the greatest gift anybody can have is the gift of hope that I will see the sun. And keep going until you get there. By the way, how will you know if you've got peace? How did you know, Linda? How did you know that you'd found peace? I find peace gives me energy. When I'm at peace, when I say it gives me energy, I can go at my own pace. I can smile. I can go, this is okay. Do what you can. It's okay to rest. It's okay to do. I don't feel this being driven, and I don't feel having to prove myself. I just need to keep taking one step at a time. Yeah, Linda's saying, and for her, when her breathing changed and she's learned how to be relaxed, one of the things that if you meditate, Jonas, and if you start working on Buddhism and stuff, really good idea to, and there's lots of meditation stuff on YouTube. It's just amazing how just that slowing your breathing down, and really breathing down into your stomach will just change the whole vibe inside your body. And, your mind will want to take you over here and worry about this. And the trick is to go, excuse me, I'm meditating. And then you start to do a bit more meditation and your mind's going, yeah, but and you go, excuse me, I'm meditating. And as Jody says, everything just seems to be on track when she is at peace. Yeah, everything is unfolding as it should. Remember, I read that poem of Desiderata again, right? The world is unfolding as it should. So my experience has been that part of the reason I had to experience betrayal and things like that is because I got to understand trust a different way. I understand now that, friends are not what I thought they were. Yeah, Linda says, she just tells her mind, later, I'm in the zone right now. Yeah. And we love that zone, don't we? When we can find it. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's being able to find the zone is such a beautiful thing. And so here are a few more little ones before we go. All right. How about I have no desire to argue with anyone. I choose to walk away because I just want peace. Right? I just don't want to argue with everybody anymore. I just want to find my peace. And when I find that peace, I will be lovable to so many more people because I won't be busy trying to earn their love. I am lovable as I am. And I think that took me a long time to understand that. I spent a lot of my life trying to earn people's love. And boy, that did not work well for me, I can tell you. And the less you respond to rude, critical, argumentative people, the more peaceful your mind becomes. Sal says, you need what? Explain that one better, if you will. Not better, just so that I understand it. And this one says, choose your thoughts carefully. Keep what brings you at peace. Release what brings you suffering. And know that happiness is just a thought away. Happiness is within us if we choose it. And I have to tell you that part of my inner peace came when I let go of my pretend friends and concentrated on my real friends, when I stopped trying to be people pleasing, when I stopped expecting anything from anybody. Did any of you find that out, that part of being at peace is not having expectations of people anymore? It's like, well, they should do this, that, and the other. Yes, Jonas. So you absolutely understand how to meditate. That's great. Okay, so welcome back, Lionel. So glad he's home safely. And let us know what they said, if you choose, right? Yes, Linda's saying that she tells her mind, if it keeps on racing, she tells, chill. Sal says, I need 5 minutes. I'll talk to you later. And, and it works, doesn't it? I mean, I'm amazed where I go, yeah, I can hear you panicking, but really, I haven't got time for that right now. I'm trying to chill. Yeah, it's good. I'm glad it works for you too. And this one is 10 years from now, will you be able to say that you chose your life? You didn't settle for it. All right. And so do you know what you want in your life? Jonas, I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but somewhere in my garage, I can show you. I took a big piece of poster paper, poster board stuff, and I drew what I wanted my life to look like. If I could find it, I'd show it to you all. And I drew all these things that I wanted in my life. And then, it had to do with my finances. It had to do what sort of house and, and all these sort of things. And I drew it all out. And then I rolled it all up and put it away. And I am amazed how many of those things have come and gone, all right, in my life since I did that. And I still keep it with me to remind me that to dream is okay. And, one of the things I would encourage you to do, if you can, Jonas, if you've got a photo album or a scrapbook somewhere, start cutting out pictures or print out pictures from websites and things of what you'd like to have in your life. If you want to be in a loving relationship, get a picture that shows that, put it in your book. And then if you'd like to, have your own house, what will it look like? Find one and print it out and put it in your book. And literally start collecting what it is you'd like life to bring you and see what happens. And stop worrying about the negative people doing all the wrong things. Start doing the right things for yourself. Yeah, Linda's saying she tells her younger son, you will be somewhere in 5 years. Just make sure it's where you want to be. Yes. And a lot of people, will not be where they want to be in 5 years' time because they will have concentrated on the wrong people and the wrong things. Now, this one, I have to tell you, is a difficult one to understand, but it is true. The less attached you are, the more peaceful you are. So if I attach my self-worth or my happiness to my beautiful 2,500 square foot home, is it true that by downsizing to 500 square feet, I will be that much less happy? You see, if I can let go of my need to have 2,500 square feet, I can be equally happy in 500 if I choose to be. So, Jonas, I think that if you could just let go of that little bit about I've learned to be disappointed, I would let that bit go. But the rest of it, don't expect anything. I'll just take whatever comes, right? And the only way you can be disappointed is if you had an expectation. Does that make sense? If I expected this person to treat me this way and they don't, I will be disappointed. You have to have an expectation to be able to be disappointed. So if you can just drop that one sentence out of there, you're right. And it doesn't mean that you can't be happy. You're just not waiting for other people to bring it to you. All right. How about this one, Jonas? Maybe you'll like this one. I don't ask for much, just peace of mind. Wow. I don't ask for much, just peace of mind. I like that. Yes, but do you get what I'm saying, Jonas? To be disappointed, you have to have had an expectation. So that's the only point I'm trying to make. The only time people disappoint me is when I expected them to behave better. So if I can let that go and hey, listen, the guy is a jerk, duh, end of story, but I send him love and hope that he learns not to be a joke. I remember saying to one guy in my life, Jonas, I pray to God that you will not teach your son everything you know about being a man. Which was the best thing I could think to say, because really the way he treated women was absolutely disgusting. And I just said to him, I pray every night to God that you will not teach your son everything you know about women or her life. And I meant it. Yes, Linda, that's interesting. I have a viewer at the moment who is really in a big vortex because she disappointed herself. And that can really be a vortex. And I was saying to her, be aware. How much of this is because you embarrassed yourself? How much of this is because you disappointed yourself? And if so, let it go, as soon as you can. I disappoint myself regularly. I'd love to tell you otherwise. I have high expectations of myself. And I don't come up to them every now and then, and I disappoint myself. But you know something? It doesn't help me move on. Right? I have to let that go and just go, hey, you did your best, move on. And This is a really great quote. It said, maturity is learning to walk away from people and situations that threaten your peace of mind. Self-respect, values, and morals, or self-worth. So, Jonas, I understand what you're saying. Which is like, when you consider, when you can say this person doesn't fit into my needs in terms of their values or the way they treat people, that is perfectly all right. But we don't have to hate them or wish them ill. We just go, excuse me, if possible, I'd like to bring some more people of this thinking. And that's why I'm saying maybe joining a Buddhist temple or something would be a really good idea, because you're going to meet people who have peace of mind as their number one thing. That's why they go. So, you're going to meet like-minded people who hopefully won't be perfect, Jonas. They won't be perfect people. But the chances are that they are also learning how to find peace of mind. Yeah, and Linda's saying, she did that with her family. She walked away, but she sleeps at night. She says, I feel my confidence is better. I don't hate, but they're not for me. Yes, we don't get to choose our family, our biological family. And what I had to do, Linda, was to buy, when I say buy, but get myself a new family. And I have. That is so true, isn't it, Jonas? Yes. And Jonas is saying, when they hurt my friends and there's nothing I can do about it, that's when it hurts. Yes, because you don't want to hurt anybody, all right? And he says, because I have no choice but to give up on them. Well, Jonas, I'd like to tell you something, that I have hurt people. And it wasn't an intent, right? But, I now, when people hurt me, I now have a look at it and go, was it their intent to hurt me? Or did they lash out because they themselves were hurting? All right. I really try and turn that mirror a lot more. And now I try and find out. I will actually say to them, hey, you really hurt me. Or if I felt really hurt with that remark, did you mean to hurt me? And you'll be amazed how many people will say no. Or did you mean to hurt Jane? No. No, I was just angry because of da-da-da-da-da. So I've had, I've stopped people who said, well, I can't believe that my boss was so angry at me today for nothing. And I said, do you know what happened to him on the way into work? What? Well, maybe he crashed the Mercedes. Maybe, like Beth, he had some really bad news that came to him just before he came to work, but he's compartmentalized it and he's not reacting out of a normal place. And so I'd like to say, Jonas, that you will know that you have found inner peace when all the bad stuff doesn't affect you as much. All right? I want to tell you, we could all say that trauma, harassment, rape, I understand all that stuff you're talking about. It is sickening. It really is. And I am delighted that you care about those things. But I'm sad that they affect your peace of mind to that degree. Yeah, and Linda's saying that her walking away took years to get used to, yes. And did you beat up on yourself a lot at the beginning? I did. I found myself saying, I must be a really bad family member that I've done this. But, afterwards I had to do this for my own self-worth, my own self-preservation. So, it is up to us all to realize what brings us peace and what brings us health. And Jonas, this is great work that you have done. You've found out that those sort of people are not the people you want to be mixing with. And that's why I'm saying I think it would do you a lot of good to, be part of a church or a temple or something where people are, looking for a different way of life, because that's what you're looking for. And you will find that those people are not perfect either. I assure you, I have been to many places where I thought there were perfect people there, only to find out that somebody, robbed them blind or somebody did something terrible. You see, life doesn't have perfection. Life has good times and bad times. And our job is to navigate it as best we can with as much peace as we can. And, there's a quote here that says, sometimes you just need a break in a beautiful place, alone, to figure things out. So, and how about the pain you've been feeling can't compare to the joy that is coming? So I look at this life and I go, one last quote, I'm going to read it. I choose to read it, I haven't got to. Time is like a river. You cannot touch the same water twice, because the flow that has passed will never pass again. Enjoy every moment of your life. I was out yesterday and somebody said to me, to join this art club takes 3 years. And I, being me, I looked at them and I went, I could be dead by then. It's like, I said, and so could you. It's like anything that asks me to wait 3 years to join a club, it's like, really? Now, do I want to join anyway? Maybe. But the truth is, if it takes 3 years to join, who knows where we're going to be in 3 years? But if I'm hopeful, I'll join anyway. I think that Jodi's story about family is one of the most interesting ones, where the family was about to descend on her without any warning, and she actually said no, which must have been so difficult to do, but she just, needed to set down a boundary that says, my home is emergency ward 10 these days. She has a hospital bed in her living room. You can't just visit her at the drop of a hat. She needs time to get organized and get that, so people can visit and not feel like they're in the middle of a hospital. And so she said no. And it took a great deal to do that. And yet the funny thing is, as badly as they took it at the time, it's amazing how those people have come around and now are much more respectful of what's going on in Jodi's life. Yeah. So everybody has their ups and downs. I think the greatest lack of peace is to think we're the only ones that are messed up. And I say that with all the love in the world, right? Is that we really think we're the only ones, and it's not true. Everybody has their ups and downs. Everybody has days of sadness. But as best we can, it is our job to control how many of those days we have. I want to tell Jonas, if you can get out and go and, visit a Buddhist temple, not to do anything else, but just to visit it, and be amazing who you run into, right? You might find a really wise man that's not Santa Claus. And on the other hand, you may find something completely different. And to me, every time I do that, when I actually get out from outside the door and go and do something interesting, it's amazing to me the people I meet and the things that I learn. You'll be surprised. There are probably lots of them in Edmonton. Really. But, let us know, Jonas. Do a bit of Googling, see what you find. All right. That's a great thing. Well done. If you just did that this week, it would be a step in the right direction. But then, get some meditation in and forgive yourself for being so angry. It's okay. We know that feeling. You've done a great job here. And you are right to be upset that people treat other people this way. All right. I'm looking at all those people that are marching their way from Honduras to the U.S. border that are going to be turned around, and you go, what are they going to do, right? And I understand both sides of that story, but it's like Mexico is going to end up with an awful lot of people that it wasn't expecting. So life's not easy. And I keep thinking that I'm glad I'm not one of those people, because life's going to be very difficult for them for quite a while. And colder weather is coming. And who's going to feed them? Who's going to look after them? Go on a field trip, a journey of self-discovery. Wow. Yeah. And you might not find yourself in one trip. You might need 2 or 3 field trips. Do things like, go to, maybe go and visit different religions. See which one resonates with you. Yeah, I know he's going to find a nice person in there because we've met him. A kind, compassionate, caring person. And there are going to be so many people in your life that are going to value you for that, because we do. And don't change, Jonas. Be the caring person you are. There are so few that honestly do care. And remember, caring people don't hate people, right? Caring people give out love. They don't give out hate. And you're doing such a great job on yourself. And by the way, at 25, you will look back on this and go, really? But you need to be 25 to be able to do that. By the way, by the time you get to 71, you'll be going, I can't believe that. But, I still make those mistakes every day, Jonas. You're not alone. All right. Big hugs to you all. And for those of you who want to know what's for dinner, you haven't asked, so I'm not going to tell you. This is DearMamaSal saying, have a peaceful week. Make it peaceful. Do not let those negative thoughts rule your life. It's not worth it. Big hugs to you all. Stay at peace. Look after one another, but please, 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 start by looking after yourself. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.